This is 5 Star Life Radio on News Talk 95.3 Michiana's News Channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Welcome back to 5 Star Life Radio, brought to you by Global Link Distribution, a supplier to the RV, manufactured housing, cargo trailer, and cabinet shop industries, as well as Dometic, the ultimate outdoor equipment engineered for living. You can check them out at dometic.com. Both Dometic and Global Link Distribution are proud sponsors of 5 Star Life Radio. I'm Coach Seth. I'm joined with my co-host, Coach Mia. Welcome back.
Thanks, Seth.
And we're having this conversation about conflict. And we're kind of unpacking a lesson that we actually teach kids and how to deal with conflict, which we're surrounded by conflict. And we're talking about the fact that literally, like, sometimes sometimes we have conflict within us, but sometimes there's just people that are mean on purpose. What do you do with that? And I always ask the question, like when somebody's really mean. I was talking about this kid in 7th grade, Kenneth, who was racist. He was mean on purpose. And I'm like, why are people mean on purpose? Why do you think people are mean on purpose?
Gosh, when you were teaching that today, it does make you think. And you talked about justification. I think sometimes people just they're angry, and that turns into, I'm just going to take it out on that person. Yeah, I think there's a ton of reasons. So many of them are internal, right? They're angry because of something else that happened. It's kind of the internalizing. There's all those things that fit into the internalizing category. They've been rejected. They're down on their luck. They're having a bad week. Whatever, you name it. Internal stuff that has nothing to do with us. But then there are people that are mean on purpose, and I think it comes down to one word: justification. And ultimately, you think about it. When someone lies to you, somebody lies to me, we are tempted to say, oh, okay, they lied to me, so I can lie back to them because I'm justified. They lied, so I guess we can lie in this. We're like, I'm going to lie back. That's what I can do. We feel justified, even though we know it's wrong to lie. But we justify it. The other illustration is, ultimately, with family, with siblings, with spouses. So my wife doesn't give me what I want, or she says something I don't like, or she does something that just perturbs me. And I can justify, like, well, she did this to me, and I call it keeping score. Like we start keeping score. So, okay, because they did this to me, then I can justify my awful behavior, actually mean behavior. Now, we don't look in the mirrors and really see it that way. We think, well, they had it coming. They weren't thoughtful to me, so I'm not going to be thoughtful to them. I'm going to let them clean up the dishes. I'm going to let them do this because they didn't do this to me. Now, it's actually being mean on purpose. Isn't that what it is? It is, and you don't think about it that way. I just thought, this is so silly, but we're adults. We're taking care of my mom, and everybody comes to eat dinner, and then they leave the dishes. Well, this morning I just looked at them like, I didn't even use them. And then I was like, okay, don't be that person. Go wash the dishes.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because what happens is if we can pause long enough to ask the question, why are people mean on purpose, and then do a hard look in the mirror and think about the times that we justify, whether it's lying, whether it's getting somebody back, revenge, or just giving somebody a dirty look or making a rude comment, like we are mean. And the only reason we're mean is not because we're mean people, but because we feel justified. Like, well, they had it coming. They deserved it. So I'm going to withhold this, or I'm going to do this. And what we do is we lower the bar on our own integrity. Like, everybody wants to be like that 5-star, like, okay, I'm a good person. I'm a kind person. I'm a respectful person. But it's totally conditional. As long as you're that way to me, Mia, I'm going to be 5-star back to you. But as soon as you're 1-star, I can go there too. And so we end up living this life where we're like wavering between like 2.5, 3 stars, where we're in the middle, and yet we're ticked off when people do the same thing. And I always say, listen, our life, it just starts to come alive when it goes back to that integrity piece. When we say, you know what, I'm going to have integrity, I'm going to be whole, I'm going to be complete, I'm going to be the same person regardless of how I'm treated. I'm not going to justify behavior that if I was the first one to do it, if I was the first one to lie or be rude, I couldn't justify it. I'd feel awful. So when they do it to me, I'm not going to justify that and lower my standard, lower my integrity, lower my bar. Because ultimately, what happens is then it goes back to we know who we are. It doesn't feel good. We don't get revenge. I mean, it's weird because one side of us, it's like taking that bait. It does feel good. It tastes good for a second.
Just a second.
But then we're hooked, and then it creates more chaos. Mm-hmm. It blows the situation up. And then we're like, why did we do that? And I know there's so many people in relationships with your kids and marriages that, man, I'm telling you, if you want to bring some salve, some healing, and some life back into it, it takes massive integrity and massive humility, which is true integrity, which is true wholeness and strength, to when someone is being that mean person on purpose, when it's family or friends, when you say, I'm not going there. I'm just not going to go there. I've watched so many relationships turn around by being the first to do that. And I've also blown up the relationship and then have to apologize and get to that place, but it's just a lot more painful. Mm-hmm. Mia, why do you think with, having kids, with having a spouse, with coworkers, why is it so hard to not see that we're being devious? I mean, because when we talk about, like, in this context, it's easy to see, like, man, yeah, we are taking the bait. We're lowering our integrity. We're being mean on purpose. Why is it so hard for us to see in the moment?
I think we are going at such a, Mach speed all the time that we don't take 2 seconds to think, did they really mean that? Or did I hear them correctly? Or I'm just going to pause and then respond? Yeah. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say nobody, because you're great at it.
I'm working. I'm a work in progress, baby. And that's the thing. I don't want anybody to feel ashamed, because this is not meant to be like, oh man, I listen to Coach Seth now, I feel like a loser. That's not at all. I just want to bring some awareness, and that's what we teach kids. Like, G.I. Joe, I love G.I. Joe. Knowing is half the battle. Just sometimes being aware of our tendencies, and that, holy cow, I'm actually mean on purpose to some of the closest people in my life. Like, I don't want that to be me. What can I do to change? Just being aware of that, you'll be amazed at what you start to see and how you'll start to be intentional about responding differently. Like, it is a powerful place you're at right now. So here's what I want to challenge you to do. If this conversation is helpful for you and you think this may be helpful for the kids in my life, the grandkids, I want you to take some action. Like, seriously, we're growing into schools all across the country, but if we're not in a school near you, I want you to reach out to us, and I want you to make an introduction to your school board, your superintendent, your principal, a teacher, someone, so that your kids, the kids in your community, the kids in your neighborhood, can learn the skills that when you flip on the news, you're just like, how come people are so crazy? Well, it happens to be all of us. We probably have some things that make us crazy. So we all can probably do a little better, but let's talk about them. These, to me, Mia, are root issues. These are like foundational issues that can change a nation, can change a society. This is where you start. Politics have their place, but politics are not going to change this. They can't change this. That's not what they're there to do. So I want to really encourage you to go to 5starlife.org and click on the website, peruse a little bit 5-Star Life video curriculum, and get some more information. And you can help us bring 5-Star to a school near you. Now,
nope, I was going to say, go ahead.
The last thing I want to say is we're working on an app that soon we're going to be rolling out an application that you could actually do this at home with your kids on your computer, on your phone. And so that, like, on a weekly basis, you could go through a lesson together as a family and grow together as a family. I am so stoked about this. So make a little mental note that this is coming, and it's going to be coming soon. So something to look forward to. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting 5-Star Life.
5-Star Life Radio. Learn more about 5-Star Life at 5starlife.org. Listen again next week on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.